This is QTV News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue, and I am Andy Kerma. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. A representative of the victims of the Yahya Jammeh-led regime has expressed frustration over the slow pace of the Gambia government's implementation of its white paper in response to the TRRC's report. The Ministry of Tourism and Culture commenced 3 weeks capacity building training on Tuesday for policymakers and regulators in the tourism sector. iCare Optics Limited, a company renowned for providing quality eye care services, opened a new branch in Brikama in the West Coast region. In international news, army officers claiming to represent all of Gabon's security and defense forces have appeared on national television declaring they have seized power. In business news, we have the foreign exchange rates from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2023. And in sports news, Revelation FC wins the Banjul Sports Committee Super Cup final after defeating Jamisen in a rain-drenched game on Friday. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. A representative of the victims of the Jammeh-led regime has expressed frustration over the slow pace of the Gambia government's implementation of its white paper on the TRRC report. He was speaking during an interface with victims of the victim-led organizations organized by the National Human Rights Commission to discuss and reflect on the government's white paper and implementation plan. QTV's Momodu Laminchoy attended and filed in this report.
It is more than a year since the government published its white paper on the TRRC report, detailing government's implementation plan to deliver justice and reparations for the victims of human rights violations by the previous regime. Balo Sedikan speaks on behalf of the victims.
This is the cry from all victims. That is a foot dragging. And we all know the government of the Gambia didn't take the victims seriously, because the TRRC, Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, have all the takes that the government can go through and bring a closure to the victims' issue.
In the white paper, government approved all but 2 of the 256 TRRC's recommendations. Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Justice, Hussein Tomasi, the Gambia's Solicitor General, highlights the government's commitment to bring justice and reparations to the victims through legal and legislative process.
Allow us with the time for the process to work. We are committed to it, and we will get it work. And I can also assure you that this bill banning from public office will be tabled also alongside the reparations bill, the SPO bill, the special accountability, all before the National Assembly this year on an expedited hearing. I have personally already, on behalf of the Honorable Attorney General, had discussions with the Clerk of the National Assembly on how to expedite these bills.
Established in 2017 through an Act of Parliament, the National Human Rights Commission is mandated to protect and promote the fundamental human rights and freedoms of everyone in the Gambia. Given such a mandate, the Commission was recommended in the TRRC report to monitor government's implementation of the report. This interface is part of the NHRC's fulfillment of that task. Janaba John is the Vice Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission.
But as we continue the monitoring of the implementation process, we realize how important it was to bring victims and victim-led organizations closer to us, to dialogue with them, to hear their views, to make the process itself successful.
The government has development partners supporting the process of implementing its TRRC white paper commitments. One such partner is the UN system in the country. Dr. Desta Tironi, the WHO country representative, speaks on behalf of the UN resident coordinator in the Gambia.
We are proud to have supported today's event, where the post-TRRC project, we reiterate our unwavering support to the victims to ensure their active participation in the transitional justice process, including truth, justice, reparation, memorialization, and guarantees of non-recurrence.
The road to justice and reparation for victims of human rights violations in the Gambia could be a long one. Whether it will be bumpy or smooth will be determined by the quality of and speed at which justice and reparations reach the victims. Mahmoud Lamin Choy, QTV News.
The Ministry of Tourism and Culture commenced 3 weeks capacity building on Tuesday for policymakers and regulators in the tourism sector on digital tools for tourism promotion and marketing. Loli M. Kamara tells us more.
The aim is to enable those operating in the tourism sector make well-informed decisions. The Ministry of Tourism is implementing the Tourism Diversification and Resilience in the Gambia project, TDRGP, and part of its objectives is to support recovery, diversification, and climate resilience of the tourism sector in the selected destinations, strengthening institutional and policy framework, improving capacities and access to funds for tourism-related micro, small, and medium enterprises. Mamadi Damfa, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, points out that the sector has been greatly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in considerable job loss and closure of hotels.
This prompted the government of the Gambia to come up with a special bailout package for the sector in 2021 at the tune of $2 million to ease the impact of the shock on the tourism operators. These include the small-scale players in the tourism sectors, the small business in the tourism sectors, and also the hotel owners, restaurant owners, and all other establishments in the tourism sectors. They were supported by the government of the Gambia and its development partners.
Mr. Damfa went further to state that these funds on their own are not enough to achieve the ultimate revival of the sector in the post-COVID period. He urged the participants to therefore take the cause seriously and replicate what they will learn in their work for sustainable growth.
This led to the approval by the World Bank a grant of $68 million for the implementation of tourism diversification and resilience project in the Gambia. Understanding the human capacity challenges the sector is faced with, especially in a dynamic global environment of immensely evolving digital spectrum, it was deemed necessary and important by the bank to support and consolidate the interventions of the TDRG project by organizing this capacity building program of the public sector actors in tourism to boost their digital skills.
The government of the Gambia is supported by the World Bank in the digital transformation of the tourism value chain. Faye Borofis is the World Bank country rep.
The training will cover different digital strategies and solutions such as digital marketing, data management, and practical tools. Over the course of 3 weeks, the program will help you set out a roadmap to build your knowledge and confidence in using these digital skills. Definitely, it is our opinion that the tourism sector in the Gambia is ready for digitization, and the government's commitment in this agenda is evident. The government has identified the tourism sector as a key pillar of the structural transformation of the Gambian economy for sustainable growth. And the World Bank is committed to support the government's agenda in unleashing the Gambia's digital economy through tourism.
Tourism is an important sector in the country as it contributes 20% of our GDP annually, and its benefits include job creation, strengthening the local economy, helping to conserve the natural environment, and contributes to local infrastructure development. It is hoped that the knowledge gained from the training will help boost the trainees' knowledge of digital technologies and innovation. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
In a bid to make iCare services accessible to all, iCare Optics Limited, a company renowned for providing quality iCare services, opened a new branch in Brikama on Wednesday. The enterprise seeks to end preventable blindness and address issues affecting people's sight, especially the elderly. Ansumane Sonyasi reports.
This is the third branch the company has inaugurated within the first year of its establishment. iCare Optics offers accessible, quality, affordable optical services and comprehensive eye examination for patients with all sight problems. At the opening of this new branch in Brikama, Awanjai Conte, the marketing manager of iCare Optics, and Dembo Jobate, a native of Brikama, underscored the significant role this new branch will play in addressing eye problems, especially amongst the elderly in the community. And they went on to stress that iCare is an initiative that seeks to provide solutions to what they describe as a growing health problem.
Our usual branch have been at London Corner at head office at Senegambia former Dream Park, and today here we are launching another branch in this amazing place in Brikama. Optimistically, we are planning to launch even many more branches to facilitate the prevention of extreme eyesight damage for all the people around this area.
Mohammed have a vision, which is to making sure that iCare optics is accessible and affordable for everybody. Even if you don't have money, if you get down to iCare, you will be treated. He also tell me during our chit-chat that money is something, but not everything. iCare, they are up and running for humanity. And sometimes, if your dream is to consider humanity and make sure humanity is fine, you don't put money ahead of everything.
Mohammed Alam is the CEO of iCare. He says his company's mission is to provide a clear vision with the best eye care facilities and the latest available technology and equipment at affordable prices. As he encourages the public to visit iCare for all their sight health needs, he thanks the community of Brikama for hosting them and shares some of the services they offer.
We have several eye items on sale, including aesthetical accessories, dispensing sunglasses, UV and polarized, photochromic lenses that changes color in the sunlight. When you inside, it will be lighter. When you go outside, it will become darker. That is called photochromic lenses. With ARC is a special coating from the computer, TV, driving and sunlight, as well as blue max lenses and polarized lenses, multifocal lenses and bifocal lenses. That is also available with us. However, I am pleased to inform you that new clinic Brikama branch is essential to provide accessible and affordable eye service and product for all customers within the West Coast region and beyond.
Meanwhile, he also announced the opening of a new branch in Basse on September 13th. This, he says, is to ensure Gambians across all administrative regions can have easy access to affordable and quality eye care services. Several other speakers, including Malamin Bojang, who represented the chief, and Omar Njai, a friend of CEO Mohammed Alam, spoke about the importance of this new branch to the community of Brikama. As part of its corporate social responsibility, iCare has in the past offered free screening and in some cases treatment to the police, the immigration department and precinct service and the public. At the end of Wednesday's ceremony, several elderly members of the community of Brikama were offered free screening services. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
And with that story by Eso Nyasi, now let's take a look at what's new in the world of business. The Central Bank of the Gambia has issued the official interbank foreign exchange rates, and here are those rates.
The Central Bank of the Gambia has released the following official interbank foreign exchange rates for valuation purposes, applicable from the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2023. The rates are as follows: $1 $60 49 batuts, €1 $66 36 batuts, £1 British pound $76 40 batuts, £1 Swiss franc $64 20 batuts, 5,000 CFA franc $498 94 batuts, 100 Swedish krona $554 64 batuts, 100 Norwegian krona $563 66 batuts, 100 Danish kron $874 20 batuts. West African unit of account currency $79 82 batuts. That is the end of the official interbank foreign exchange rate valuation from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the period 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2023. Adel Dele Campbell reporting for QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local, international, and sports news stories. Stay with us.
Set na ci wala set na ci ni mi na la amul tan mo tax tan ba moo tax grand sel ni ñetti saako yi lay xewle saaro bii Kombo bii ak tropique bii moo ñëw ci réew mi di maalo moo xam ne moo ñëw ci Gambie fi toll nii.
te amul benn tànn.
benn tànn.
mu li ko fi
borom réew. président Barrow. dem ca GGC ñu ànd ak nguuri Gambia ci ndimbalu président Barrow ñu indi fi maalo ba maa la dafa cher dafa.
waaye ñu ngi bëgg a dee.
mu ne xaar leen ma indi leen nag maalo bu gën a yomb.
waaw ku ma bëgg am na foo koy am.
boo dem ca GGC ci réew mi yëpp boo demee di fa am maa la wax lii di nga dem ca baar nga dem Farafeñ nga dem Sooma nga dem Bansan nga dem Basse ak bépp boutique nag foo xam ne bii rek dafay jaay ci réewu Gambie fii am na foo dem rek am na.
wholesale.
50 kilos. 1450 laa la wax.
te GGC sa saaro.
moom lañ koy jaayee. dana maalo mi amul tànn maalo mi sakkan na maalo mi neex na maalo mi saf na gis nga la waykat ba doon wax naan suñu maalo mi bu ñoree neex bu ne maalo neexul danga amul bi xaaral dama yekk nga seet. léegi Gambie ma waxati te xam ngeen saa yu ma waxee rek noonu la maalo bi ñëw na de ñetti bokkul façon yi fii lañ ko indi GGC ko fi indi ànd ak nguuri Gambie ak ci ndimbali kan président Barrow ñu lim ñu maalo mi sakkan na neex na yomb na 1450 rek nga am saako bi ka sakkan ci njaboot réew Gambie jóg leen de Gambie topp réew mi jóg leen maalo bi ñëw na.
In today's fast-paced digital world, staying ahead of the competition requires the latest technologies and skills. That's where QIT comes in. Our programs include Certificate in IT, Diploma and Advanced Diploma in Microsoft Office Applications, Cisco A+, Graphics Design, Database Administration, Systems Administration, HRM, Business Management, and Marketing. We have a range of internationally certified online courses. Our special weekend classes provide the flexibility you need as a working professional. We offer specialized IT training to corporate institutions at our state-of-the-art conference room or at a location of your choice. Our affordable facilities are also available for rental with free and fast internet. Call us at 3100918 or 3800918 to start your journey today. QIT, turning your potential into credentials.
Welcome back. You're watching QTV News. Over 100 youth from the Church of Pentecost to Gambia embarked on a general cleansing exercise in Farafenni in the North Bank region on Saturday during the National Youth Camp organized by the church. More from Don Williams.
The youths from the Church of Pentecost, the Gambia, were camped at the Anglican Mission School campus in Farafenni. The theme for this year's National Youth Camp is Fan into Flame the Gift for Maximum Impact in the Nations. The cleaning exercise commenced at the Farafenni barracks along the main highway to the market. Pastor Edward Kamara of the Church of Pentecost, the Gambia, explained some of the activities they will be doing.
By the grace of God, as a church, we have different ministry in the church, and those ministry every year they have their programs. So this year, from the youth ministry, which I'm the national pastor for the youth ministry of the church. And this year we have our youth camp in Farafenni, and the camp, we have different activities, including social activities that we are doing today.
Pastor Kamara further went on to say,
as I said, we have core values. We have what we believe, and social activities is part of our core values as a church. We believe that the church is part of the society, and we have been going to other places. And then this year, with prayers and then seeking the face of God, we decided that we should be in Farafenni to also be part of Farafenni, which is part of the Gambia. To be part of them and then also to share our contribution for nation buildings and as well the spiritual impact of the nations.
Edward Mendy, the national youth leader, said their aim is not only focused on spiritual matters, but also doing community service.
It is a pleasure to lead the youth, and it's my passion that the youth in the church should not only be focused on spiritual issues, but also focus on national service. So we deem it necessary that when we come to Farafenni, before we leave the town, we should be able to do a national service. And that is why we are here this morning to do a general cleaning of all the dump sites and on the highway to be able to remove any litters that we find on the way.
Mr. Mendy is impressed with the performance of the youths.
Youths are just overwhelming, and you could see they are all participating, clearing these dump sites and the roads from the army barracks up to the central mosque here.
Malik Samba, the ward councillor for Farafeni ward, representing the chairman of the Kerewan Area Council, also spoke at the event.
Grateful with the outcome. Their turnout was very good, and definitely they have done a very good work regarding cleaning of the environment. As you know, environmental sanitation is a challenge throughout the country, and Farafenni is not an exception. Definitely, their coming is very much important, and they have definitely contributed a lot towards achieving our goal when it comes to the fight against environmental challenges. Yeah.
Indiscriminate littering and dumping of waste have become commonplace in many parts of the country, leaving people at risk of health hazards. Maintaining a clean environment helps keep diseases away and foster an environment conducive to one's mental well-being. Don Williams, QTV News for Farafenni.
Now to news beyond our borders. Senior army officers claiming to represent all of Gabon's security and defense forces have appeared on national television, declaring they have seized power.
In the broadcast, the military men appeared alongside civilians, presenting a united front of support for the takeover. In a second broadcast, 5 military officers appeared without any civilians and introduced themselves as members of the Committee of Transition and the Restoration of Institutions. They said, in the name of the Gabonese people, we have decided to defend the peace by putting an end to the current regime. The election results have been cancelled, all borders closed, and the state institutions dissolved. In a subsequent statement said Bongo was under house arrest. As seen in recent military takeovers, people came out in their hundreds in scenes of joy, waving Gabon's flag, dancing and singing the national anthem, and chanting, "Gabon is liberated, this is the end." The end to Ali Bongo's rule. He had been in power since 2009, having succeeded his father, Omar Bongo, who had died in office after ruling for more than 40 years. The coup brings to a close almost 60 years of dynastic rule in Gabon, the Central African country of 2 million people. Typifies what has been called the African paradox of being rich in natural resources, yet at the bottom of the poverty line. Gabon is the 4th largest oil producer in sub-Saharan Africa, but a third of its population lives below the poverty line, while the toppled president is said to have amassed an estimated $2 billion personal fortune. Although Gabon holds multi-party elections, many analysts have said Ali Bongo maintained political dominance through a combination of patronage and repression. This coup marks the 8th in West and Central Africa since 2020, and many would see it as another example of democratic backsliding in a volatile region. But this one is different, according to analysts. In Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso, fears over spiraling violence linked to Islamic extremism fueled the coups. Gabon does not face the same challenge, and the Russian flag-waving and the anti-French sentiments have not been as visible and vocal here as seen elsewhere. According to analysts, widespread frustration with the electoral process appears to underpin this coup. The key question now is how the international community would respond. The standard model has been the imposition of sanctions and suspensions, hoping to choke the errant regimes into submission. Former colonial power France, which has 2 military bases in the country, has, unsurprisingly perhaps, condemned the fall of yet another ally in the region. As recent as June, Bongo had met with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. Unquestionably, many are glad to see the back of Ali Bongo, yet in the majority of coups, military men have flattered only to deceive. For QTV News, I'm Mamadou Mbodj.
We will now shift our attention to the world of sports. Revelation FC wins the Banjul Sports Committee Super Cup final, winning 1-0 against Jamison in a rain-drenched game on Friday at KG5 Mini Stadium in Banjul. Momodu Gajaga reports.
A spot kick decided the Super Cup final in Banjul between Revelation FC and Jameson. Babukar Sugu scored a penalty from 12 yards in the 68th minute to give last year's league winners and knockout cup finalist Revelation FC the Super Cup trophy. Jameson also had their moments in the game, but could not break Revelation's solid backline. Mustafa Sarr had the chance to seal the win for Revelation just 5 minutes before time to put his rebound shot wide off the target. Mam Gormbai, coach of Revelation FC, explains the changes they made to win the final.
Victory being mistake last year, mom let rectify. Because last year they knew I'm unbeaten.
We corrected the mistakes we made last year when Jameson defeated us. We also prepared very well. Yusufa Drame, coach of the runners-up, Jameson, said everything was done in terms of preparation, but they fell short.
Well, preparation bi lu waron yeb def nako. Lu waron def na motiver and then kam nañ prepare nañ. Dañ dal lu so ñow té pour dal lu so ñewon dal mo ñew dal.
I did my best in preparing the team. I even motivated them, but we were just unlucky this time. Modu Musanjai, president of the Banjul Sports Committee, says the committee is gradually improving as a team since taking over last year.
The preparation was very good, alhamdulillah, it all went well. You can see both teams came in and they were both prepared. We just want to say thank you to everybody and alhamdulillah that everything went well. To be honest, I think from last year we've learned from our mistakes, and this year we are still learning. And I think this year it was more organized. It was more, we had some barriers to make sure that people will not come to the VIP and all those things. So we are actually getting there step by step.
As winners, Revelation got $25,000, while runners-up, Jameson received $15,000. The Super Cup marks the beginning of the Nawetan season in Banjul. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thanks for watching.